195 of Shokugeki No Soma was more flashback story, more in depth. We learn a little bit more of what it takes to be an Elite 10 member in this chapter as well, with Gin explaining that to be in the first seat it also means your grades and everything that you do in Tutsuki. So you attend every class, your grades are very high, and everything is how you attend the top seat of Tutsuki. While he agrees and admits Joichiro is the best was the best during their generation at Tutsuki, and the best in their generation was the best cook and everything. He was pretty much like Rendo. As we know that Rendo pretty much slacks off, lays about, and probably does the exact same thing that Joichiro has done back in the Golden Age. And hence why that the theory of Rendo actually being a better chef, being the better cook, is still a strong possibility now, with more confirmation here in this chapter via Gin and Joichiro, where Joichiro was like pretty much skipped classes, lays about, tardiness and stuff like that. He skipped pretty much some classes and stuff like that. He was a lazy bones pretty much, and didn't really attend all his class. But he managed to get to the top 5 seats of Tutsuki, being he was the second seat being of Tutsuki, because he still had decent enough grades to claim the second seat. He had decent enough attendance to be in the second seat and everything, but he was not the first seat because of that as well. If he done his cooking and continued going to classes and everything like that and get on the high grades and everything, he would probably be the best in Tutsuki while being the first seat. But the fact that he lazed about and not attending every class and everything, Joichiro didn't really attend all the classes that much, and he just ended up being in the second seat. During the announcement of even further back where he became the 7th seat, he was at this weird cooking competition that wasn't part of the school, and he was just doing a cooking competition, and there it was and Gin had to drag him out and everything. Everybody in the Polar Star Dome and everybody was really proud of Gin and Joichiro making into the Elite 10. Fumio even announced that this is probably going to be the golden generation happening of the Polar Star Dome, where we have members of the Elite 10 being in the Polar Star Dome and everything like that. And that is pretty much the case. We even have that Joichiro always had the weird sensation of always doing challenges. Not just challenges with that Saba had. These challenges that he does with Soma is always been there, even when he was in school with Gin and Azami. Azami didn't want to do it. I will pitch on a little bit more about Azami later on in this chapter as well. I'll be talking a little bit more about Azami just later on, but I want to delve into more about this chapter as well. And we get to see that he always liked to do challenges, and these little bets, these little challenges that he always does, was a little bit more round of the fact that he done them with Gin and Azami, of chore duties, like if you lose you're gonna clean the bathroom tomorrow, or if you lose you're gonna clean all the dorm tomorrow, and stuff like that. Those type of bets that they done, so if they lose they have to do it and stuff. And that's the thing, that's always what happened. And he made a lot of great dishes, or recipes, creating great dishes and recipes and perfecting them and stuff like that. And then his genius, as Gin mentioned it, started to change later on. And his first thing, I think, was the squid sticks that I think Soma made as well. That he made a mistake, he made a mistake dish, and his personality started to change more to the personality that we know him for now. The adult Joichiro. That had with a bit more of the Soma personality as well being mixed in. It was at that point near the end of the chapter where the personality of adult Joichiro, with a mix of Soma's personality, because they are father and son, was starting to show. Even though Azami and Gin said they would follow Jericho wherever he goes and wherever his life, because they were the top 3 geniuses. They were the monster trio of the golden age of Tsuki Academy, pretty much. When you've got Akira, Soma, and Kurikiba as well. If you want to say that those 3 are the monster trio now, even though Kurikiba's lost for some other reason. But, I mean, for the main 3 popular characters that are Kurikiba, Akira, and Soma, they are the monster trio now of this generation. While Azami, Jericho, and Gin were the monster generation during the golden age of the Polar Star Dawn. Now, the question is Azami. There was a panel in the manga of this week's chapter where there was black aurora around Azami. Now this shows, to me, I would be taken into effect that this, to me, means Azami always had in his mind that he wants to perfect Jericho's dishes. Like we know, he is a stray puppy always following Jericho, like Jericho is his owner. And every dish that Jericho made, every new dish that he made, he created, and everything off the bat of his head and stuff. Azami wanted to follow those recipes to a T, and he always asked Jericho that, how did he do it, how did he make it, and stuff like that, and Jericho just passed it up and said, you just want to beat me. And like most of the other store members and students as well wanted to know his secret, Azami wanted to know as well. And this started to show me that Azami's real self started to show at this age, definitely in that panel with the black aurora. Even Jericho pointed out the black aurora that was coming out of Azami, and it just really shows that Azami has always been like this. Even though it doesn't seem like it, he always seemed to be the guy that we have seen him for now. And it was just starting at this point now. So did it end up making him worse once Jericho left Tsuki? That Azami just decided to become the person he is then, full on automatically then, and said, right, I'm going to do everything I idolize the old Jericho. He doesn't idolize the now Jericho. No. It makes perfect sense. Thanks to this chapter, he idolizes the old Jericho before he became more like Soma with the weird mistakes with like the squid sticks and stuff like that he made at the end of this chapter. He preferred the Jericho where him and Gin wanted to follow. And when Jericho's genius changed, that is the Jericho Azami didn't like. The Jericho Azami liked was before that change of the currently making mistakes and always now currently testing it and stuff. But that probably means that Jericho has reached to the point where he's tried everything, and now he's just making mistakes after mistakes, just try and get something perfect again. So because he's probably at a slump period, or that he's at the point where he's done everything, he's achieved everything he wanted to. And so he's making these mistakes because there's nothing else for him to do. And Azami just prefers the Jericho before that. As we learned in this chapter, and you can see here that Azami idolized the early stages, the early Jericho, when he just became an Elite 10, when he became a 6th seed. No, when Jericho became a 7th seed, that's when Azami idolized him. And that is the Jericho Azami idolizes. He doesn't idolize the current Jericho, he idolizes the past Jericho. And it all makes sense within chapter 195 of Shokugeki No Soma. So comment down below, do you agree with me that before Jericho's genius changed in cooking changed at the end of this chapter, of the flashback chapter, that Azami idolized the previous genius mind of Jericho, the one that became the 6th seed, worked his way up and won that Grand Prix cooking match and everything like that, and and everything, is that the Jiricho Azami idolized, and the current Jiricho that is still the current Jiricho, even now, even with Soma actually taking on his personality of that current state, is not the Jiricho he idolizes, and hence why he doesn't really accept Jiricho even when he showed up, because that is not the Jiricho he loves or idolizes. All you have to do to answer this question is go in the comment section below, and you can check out my previous videos and reviews right here, and you can hit that subscribe button as well. I've been your host, Kai from Kai's Otaku Corner, member of the 00 Club, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now. See ya!